Hey everyone, thanks so much for joining me on this webinar about allergies and asthma. Definitely something that is very, very common today, especially here in Southern California with our ebbs and flows. It's either hot or it's cold, or there's no pollen or there's a ton of pollen. Almost everybody that I meet struggles with allergies and asthma, including every generation from little kids to middle age to older. And so what we're going to get into today is what exactly is going on. Why even do allergies and asthma flare during certain seasons? We'll talk about that. And then what are 5 things that we can do to boost our immune system to help lower the effects or even eliminate altogether your allergies and asthma. My name is Dr. Chris Boman. I'm a pediatric and family chiropractor in Murrieta at Trailhead Family Chiropractic. I have my diplomat in chiropractic pediatrics from the ICPA, which is the largest certifying agency around the world. In it, I learned a whole bunch of different techniques. I learned a lot of underlying information for why our kids are getting sick and what we can do to help them get better. I hope this webinar provides tons of information for you. If you know anyone that's struggling with these symptoms, feel free to share it with them, and that'd be awesome to get this information out to as many people as possible. So let's go ahead and dig into it. When we're looking at allergies and asthma, most of the time people struggle with this either in the springtime when all the flowers are blooming, or in the fall, like when they call it flu or cold season, right? We're gonna talk a little bit more focused on what people, why they call it like a cold or a flu season. The first thing is that there's less movement, okay? Especially during the holiday season. It's cold, it's rainy, not down here, but it's also snowy in other places. And so that could reduce movement. Movement, as we'll talk about later, is really important, not just for your heart to help your heart be healthy, but for your spine and for your nervous system. Also, because we're outdoors less, or because there's more cloud cover, we're outside less, which means less vitamin D. Vitamin D is a catalyst to almost every biological reaction going on the inside. If you don't have vitamin D, basically your body is not going to be working to its optimal. The next one is sleep and stress, especially with the holidays. Stress, financial stress, time stress. Now, there's a whole bunch of different stressors going on during the holidays. The more stress you have, the less sleep you have. The more stress you have, the less sleep you have, and the circle goes round and round and round because your body doesn't have a time to recover. The next thing is nutrition, especially around the holidays when we're eating more sugar, we're eating more food than we're used to. We have less fresh foods available. And then also we have those immune challenges where we're in school, we're around people that are constantly sick, sneezing and coughing and coming to school with fevers and that sort of thing. And all these factors together are ultimately causing less adaptability. And we're going to dig all into what is immune system, nervous system adaptability. Before we do, let's get into asthma just a little bit more. There's an increased rate of asthma that, it seems like it increases every single year. One of the reasons that I started getting adjusted when I was little is because my sister actually had allergies and asthma, as well as ear infections. The next part, allergies, more allergies than ever before. I don't think I can pick out a kid, at the park or whatever that doesn't have an allergy to something, right? Interesting correlation. Neither of my kids, as far as I can tell, don't have any allergies to anything yet. And I'll talk about the difference of maybe what is the difference that I'm doing with my kids that, might not be widespread or general news. Asthma can be super stressful as a parent, especially if your kid has like moderate to severe asthma where you don't know when an asthma attack is going to come, or you're afraid that they're going to go over a friend's house and run too hard and not have their inhaler on them. And I know kids can die from asthma. So this is a super serious thing to make sure that we get after the root cause and do everything we can to mitigate the asthma attack and help those lungs and nervous system and immune system work the way it's supposed to. Okay, what's actually happening is the muscle surrounding your lungs is that the primary muscle used for breathing, and the lower cervical spine, so right in here, is the nerves that connect to those muscles. And so one of the reasons why as a chiropractor I'm concerned or think I can help with the root cause of asthma is because we deal with the neck. We deal with those nerves that are going to the upper airways and the lungs. Common allergens that we're starting to see: pet dander, pollen, food, grass, seasonal blooms. What happens with allergies, your body and your nervous system inappropriately perceives like that pollen or dander or whatever as a threat, and we're inappropriately reacting to it, right? Because if allergies or pollen was truly a source of an allergy, then every human in the world should be allergic to dogs, or every human in the world should be allergic to pollen. But why can somebody put pollen in my face and somebody else gets hives or an asthma attack or something like that, and nothing happens to me at all, or nothing happens to my kids at all. It's not because I'm a superhuman, but it's because my nervous system and my immune system are working together to recognize what is a threat and what not. So it doesn't overreact and it doesn't underreact, but reacts appropriately to the environment. So it's kind of a three-prong approach that we're going to look at. We're going to look at your nervous system, which is the master control center of the body. We're going to look at the immune system, which is responsible for health and healing. And we're going to look at the endocrine system, which is the hormone signaling system that your body uses to communicate and really adapt to the outside world. Within your immune system, we have two basic responses. And I know this is going kind of deep, so if you don't understand it, just try to follow along with me. You have a Th1 immune response. This Th1 immune response is responsible for externalization. So when you get rashes, when you sneeze, when you cough, watery eyes, externalization to the skin, the eyes, and the nose, what it does is it's pushing out of the body different allergens or different bacteria, okay? The Th2 immune response is a humoral response, meaning it's more done on the inside than within the blood. What it does is it flags a specific problem, bacteria or virus, tags it, and then your body produces antibodies to go attack it specifically. So the Th1 is more of a send all the troops, I don't care, to destroy whatever is coming in on the outside. And the Th2 response is a more relaxed, specific, and intelligent response to true bacteria viruses that pose a threat to your body. What's interesting when you look at how the nervous system controls or moderates these two different systems, the Th1 is a very fight or flight survival type of response versus Th2 is a much more parasympathetic, relax, grow, and develop response. So it's really important when we look at getting to the root cause of asthma and allergies. We're not just treating lungs, we're not just avoiding allergies, but we're getting to the root cause of what would cause an all-out immune response versus a learned response. And then we look a little bit more, we look a little bit deeper, what is causing the body to be a little bit more stressed than maybe it should be, or out of balance into stress. And the root cause of everything that we're talking about really is being adaptable. Because sometimes you need that Th1 sympathetic stress response to attack and bring something to the skin or get something out. And that's important to have, but if that's every immune response, that's when you start to develop asthma and allergies because the immune system starts to get overworked. So adaptability is key, and how you maintain adaptability is the link between your nervous system and your immune system. Okay, so some things that we can talk about regarding that neuro-immune connection. I'm going to pull my spine model up here. This is your spine. So when you go visit a chiropractor, this is what we're concerned at looking at. What I'm going to be doing is feeling every bone in your spine and making sure they're all moving the way they're supposed to. Okay? When they're all moving the way they're supposed to, you have a communication loop that is always going between your brain and your body and your body and your brain. If your spine stops moving the way it's supposed to, that's going to interfere or disconnect that feedback loop, which means that the brain doesn't perceive exactly what's going on the outside. So if we're talking specifically with allergies and asthma, if your brain can't perceive, is this dander or a virus? Is this pollen or a bacteria? Then the brain is going to default into that survival mode and send all the troops out to make sure, just in case, because we don't want a bacteria getting deeper into our system and causing deeper and deeper issues, right? And so our goal is we look at the spine. We use two main tests to figure out, is your spine inflamed and is your spine tense, is it spasming? And so we look at infrared thermography, which measures inflammation from your low back all the way to your neck, and those let us know the hot spots. Those give us an idea of where your spine might not be moving right, triggering that sympathetic or fight or flight stress system. And then we also do surface EMG from your low back all the way to your neck, which measures muscle tension in every single one of those bones, so we can see which ones are really, really tight. Because if your muscles are tight, so are your joints. And if your joints are tight, that interferes with that communication feedback loop. And so the number one thing, obviously, in my opinion, when you're trying to get to the root cause of allergies and asthma and inflammation, is get checked. Make sure your nervous system isn't stressed. But there's also a lot of other things that you can do. It's pretty much the reverse of the factors that we talked about in the beginning. Things like addressing the germ theory. If germs were really the cause of everybody getting sick, then shouldn't everybody be getting sick at the same time? Actually, the core of chiropractic asks, if there's a person sitting on a bench right here and a bench right here, one person gets sick and the other one doesn't, yet they're exposed to the same thing, why did one person get sick and the other one didn't? And the answer lies in the host. One person was probably stressed. One person's gut, digestive system probably wasn't working right, and nervous system wasn't really working right, and that neuro-immune connection was severed. And so in the healthy person, most likely they didn't have a lot of inflammation. Their neuro-immune connection was working well. And so when your host is strong, when your body is strong, you're more adaptable to fight off whatever comes in from our environment. So instead of trying to, antibacterial everything away or make sure we are exposed to no germs, if our body is a healthy functioning system, we were designed to fight those things. Definitely increase your vitamin D. Whether it's going outside, if it's too cold, take a supplemental vitamin D. You can take a supplement with vitamin D3 and K2. That'll give you optimal availability. Get moving is really, really important because like we talked about, movement helps stimulate your brain. It helps stimulate your muscles. It's obviously healthy for your heart. But when you're moving, you're also moving your spine back and forth. It's why the chiropractic lifestyle includes getting adjusted, eating healthy, and exercise. Because if you're not moving, that means your adjustment isn't going to hold very long. It means that you're going to keep on falling back into this chronic state of stress. So exercise whatever way that you can. If you're in the house, just walk up and down the stairs a couple of times. Do something to get your spine moving and your blood pumping. And the last one is nutrition. Obviously, we can talk a whole webinar on nutrition, which I do, called the gut-brain connection, so you can look out for that one. Nutrition includes things like avoiding sugar, avoiding unhealthy fats, having lots of healthy, fresh organic fruits and vegetables, eating grass-fed meats, eating organic chicken and organic eggs, because we want to avoid all the things that are going to cause our body to respond to food like it's a virus or bacteria. We want to make sure that we're supporting our body, giving it lots of antioxidants and anything that it needs to adapt to the external environment. So if your kid struggles with asthma or allergies, or this is something you've been struggling with for years and years at a time and you've never considered chiropractic, let's make a consultation today. You can text me or call me at 951-698-4848. In fact, I'll even give you a special offer so that way we can do your scans, your posture analysis, and your surface EMG scan, and I can let you know, is there a problem in your spine causing nervous system stress, which could be the root cause behind all the issues that you're dealing with, asthma and allergies. Thank you so much for watching. Please share with your friends and family that struggle with this. We'll see you soon.